With every passing second, each of these unsuspecting humanoids crawls 1/60th of a minute closer to Coffin O'Clock. As we make the journey from the cradle to the grave, we'll make and lose countless friends along the way. But one companion who'll be by our side throughout is Mr. Terry Television, who's been there for us, holding our brain's hand through each increasingly shaky footfall. But television doesn't seem to like us whatever age we are, whether it's painting young people as tearaway yobs.
How does it make you feel when you see your face on the front page of the Birmingham Mail like that, cast as a yob?
I am a yob.
Or old people as hilarious irrelevancies. Little wonder we've come to view ageing as a sign of incompetence. To what extent do you think old people have failed?
Probably to quite a large extent.
Yeah. This week, how TV ruined your life by ruining each individual stage of your life. Don't say it didn't. It did. This is the top secret research facility where TV executives, marketing experts and psychopaths attempt to discover what makes the different age groups tick. Television takes the business of targeting different age groups very seriously, and it's a process that begins early on from the moment when you first emerge blinking and shrieking from the womb. Childbirth is a miracle, albeit perhaps the most visually repugnant miracle it's possible to imagine short of watching a horse shitting a wheelbarrow. But nevertheless, people seem fond of these gurgling semi-humanoid gumps. While there are some bespoke programs for babies, presumably few sane adults consider them worthwhile viewing. There are shows like the Twee Baby Einstein series, a set of quasi-instructive montages of colours and puppets and shapes which eager young parents buy and play to their offspring in the hope this will somehow boost the child's intellect, although I'd say in educational terms it's probably about as effective as rubbing a dictionary on your baby's head. But if babies don't use TV, TV is only too happy to use babies as Wickle salespeople.
Been around the world, seen so many pretty girls, but I still get overwhelmed when I look in your eyes.
Wow, he really is inordinately pleased to have abducted that baby. Yes, babies are often cynically employed to help shift products they can't even use. Now, if I transplanted a baby's head onto a loaf of bread in a bid to improve sales, people would call me a monster. But apparently it's just fine when an international organisation digitally transplants babies' heads onto CGI bodies in order to flog bottles of water. To be fair, that is quite cute, albeit despicable. As babies get older and even more bothersome, they mutate into children who are well catered for by television with thousands of entertainment vehicles at their disposal. They're also used in adverts as visual shorthand for innocence and heritage. It's at this point TV starts sorting the flesh blobs into easily manageable categories, boys and girls. So boys are assailed by short sales pitches promoting mindless, devious violence.
Hi, partner, free! Here's how the quick shooter hat works. Just press this secret button right here, and a replica of an authentic Western pistol pops out and fires.
And extended sales pitches full of fantasy monsters and fighting and lasers and explosions, while girls are bombarded with eerie adverts for nightmarish dolls.
Look who's come to your house to stay. A pal you can play with all day long. She's Patty Play Pal, a big doll, big as a 3-year-old, and Patty's real as life.
And adverts which should help fuel that future image neurosis.
Beautiful Chrissy has beautiful hair that grows.
She has beautiful hair. She has beautiful eyes. She has beautiful clothes.
And the moment they mature to tweenhood, hideous propaganda films about Miley Cyrus. The pioneering queen of tween role models is Hannah Montana, a wisecracking, warbling smartass played by Miley Cyrus, who's perhaps the only convincing argument I've ever seen for China's unofficial policy of discarding female infants at birth. Hannah Montana features a colour palette so garish watching it feels like being stabbed in the eye with a sharpened lollipop, and a cast who seem to communicate exclusively via irritating sounds.
Say what? And that's all fresh.
I suppose that counts as naturalistic dialogue if you grew up in Little Yelping on the Shriek. Despite looking young enough to have gnawed through her own umbilical cord shortly before each scene, Hannah herself leads a surprisingly adult life, especially with boys, with whom she has a chaste but surprisingly confusing relationship.
I'm gonna tell you something that I've never told anyone before.
Please don't have a hairy back. Please don't have a hairy back.
Usually if a 13-year-old's worried her lover might have a hairy back, it's because she's been trafficked. After tweens come teenagers. Teenagers are by their very nature a sulky, arrogant group consisting of nothing but grease, pus, hormones, hair gel and obstinance whose chief role in society is to scoff at absolutely everyone else. There used to be so few programmes aimed at teens that merely spotting one on screen was a novelty. When they did appear, they were routinely portrayed as confused, alienated loners with silly dress sense.
Teddy boys, I don't like them at all. I was going to the chemist the other day for medicine for my children. It was rather a deserted street and there was about 6 of them coming along and they thought they'd have a go at me. But I singled out the ringleader and I give him a real good punching on the nose.
Oh, well, let's hope you beat some civility into him. Either that or they were irredeemable tearaway yobbo gangs terrorising the good people of Britain and their cats.
What sort of things do you do?
Killing cats.
Passenger, knocking mopeds, knocking booze at the pavilion,
Getting chased.
killing cats. We like getting chased a lot by blokes and all that. Killing cats. Just for a laugh.
By the late 1970s, teenagers were so hopelessly out of control, desperate measures were called for in the shape of the BBC's Community Programmes Unit. The Community Programmes Unit had had a brainwave. Why not give teenagers aged between 16 and 20 a 45-minute show of their very own and let them decide the content? It couldn't possibly fail, unless it inevitably did.
Hello, this is Something Else from Manchester, and for anyone who doesn't know just what they're in for, I'd better explain.
Something Else was a painfully right-on affair from the very beginning, awkwardly mixing live punk performances with stilted political debate.
In the studio we've got The Clash and Joan Lester, MP for Eton and Slough. Do you think it's going to be a total disinterest in politics in the future?
I don't know, maybe I'll grow up to be Prime Minister.
Who knows?
There were also embarrassing folk songs from shy, earnest types.
When I come to London, I often feel a bit distressed because it seems rather impersonal and unfriendly.
Oh yeah, try visiting Darfur, I'm sure you'd get on well there.
I've written a song which seems relevant to that. It's called Who Am I?
Go on then, spit it out.
Who am I? Who am I? Another day, another futile cry.
It was also defiantly and in fact boringly anti-establishment, with all authoritarian figures coming in for a rather unfair going over.
Constable, why do you pick on young people?
Why do I pick on young people?
You, the police force in general.
I don't think we do pick on young people at all.
Well, I do. I just want, you know.
Well, you give me an instance and why we pick on people, or when we have.
Well, they seem to pick on young people more than you do on the older people.
No, not at all.
Well, I think so.
If something else is to be believed, in the late 70s, teenagers looked about 38 and were neurotically concerned with discussing issues and pleasing the viewer.
What didn't we do that we should have done? Does it make a difference having a programme made like this? Please write. We really would like to hear from you.
By the time the teenager concept was tried again in 2006, this time in a groundbreaking Channel 4 show called Whatever, presentational styles and the notion of what constitutes an issue had both become a little more bad.
I couldn't live without pussy and my mum. Don't put them two things together because I'll slap you.
I'm most proud that I've got big boobs and when I take my bra off they don't move.
My best feature is I talk shit. I can talk shit to the world.
Coming up on tonight's Whatever, everything you ever wanted to know about LA gangbangers, pervy sex toys, and comedy drug abuse.
One of my favourite UK hip-hop artists makes some fucking noise for Plan B.
Yeah, looking at this, it's little wonder TV viewing's on the wane among whippersnappers. As young viewers continue to desert television in favour of gawping at the App Store or snorting fish food or whatever the hell it is they do, TV has redoubled its attempts to woo them. Because these young viewers have disposable income. The 16 to 24 age bracket is a group TV as a whole is desperately keen to pander to, with predictably awful results.
Who's hungry?
Case in point, the repugnant, cackling Doritos Friend Chips gang who represented 20-somethings for several dark years in the early noughties. These massive wankers didn't just crystallise everything that's wrong with TV's assumptions about young people, they also crystallised everything that's wrong with humankind as a species. The gang were horrifically shallow and spent most of their time chuckling at their own witlessness, like toddlers amused by their own turds.
What's this one? It's a Stegosaurus.
It's an extinct Stegosaurus.
You bastards.
I'm not sure if I'm entirely happy with this manicure.
You scum.
Nobody escaped the rat or the ninja.
Hey, you crisp son. Oh. Yes, television constantly assumes all 16 to 24-year-olds are mindless jigging gits. As a consequence, glib, meaningless images of youth continually piss from every screen as though the channels are engaged in some sort of unofficial contest to see who can produce the most vapid, lowest common denominator screen turds imaginable. It's like they've got no idea. Any old shit'll do, whether it's banal footage of Peter Andre roving the earth like a backward half-emu carrot man, or a turgid exploration of the latest celebrity Aunt Sally's, or a gaudy reality show about overconfident smiling young bucks, or a terrible sex-obsessed sitcom starring a cast at least 10 years older than the characters they're playing.
Time for a post-wank sandwich.
And dare I ask what that consists of?
Oh, well, if you must know, I grip my penis, then I pump it up and down until seminal fluid is...
I mean the sandwich, you big gusset twonk.
Oh, just bread and butter.
Plus the odd pube.
Serves you right for not controlling your urges.
I couldn't help myself. Caught sight of Casey in the shower. She weren't just washing either. She was twitching the curtain.
You what?
You know, pushing the envelope, rubbing the nubbin, putting sud on the bud, cleaning the bin, taking a degree in English literature.
Okay, I get it.
Oh, so would she, given half the chance.
As you pass into your 30s, you're supposed to finally start feeling like you're an adult. In fact, the only insight you'll probably get is a sudden realisation that all the adults who went before you didn't have a clue what they were doing at this age either. It's an age at which people often start spawning offspring and spending their evenings trapped indoors with the TV, which is probably why TV assumes you'll be interested in programmes all about being indoors, such as hypnotic aspirational property shows like Grand Designs, or programmes that make the outside world look off-puttingly dangerous. Either that or mindless family-oriented Saturday night distraction festivals. Oh God, the horror, the horror, the horror, the horror. Yes, I've always had an innate horror of becoming a dad, largely and irrationally based on the portrayal of dads on TV.
Hello?
Hi, Dad!
Advertising dads are almost without exception tragic, shuffling, pitiful individuals who shouldn't be fronting adverts at all but lined up before a ditch and coldly shot in the back of the head to put them out of their misery. They're often plump, tortoisey men with nothing left to look forward to except plopping their carcasses down in front of the TV to watch the match, a treat they don't even feel they deserve.
This would be great for watching the World Cup, this. 40-inch, built-in, Freeview HD, the lot.
Get it, you deserve a treat.
Really?
They're men who've given up. Take the 1980s Oxo dad. What sort of life did he have? Ignored by his offspring? Belittled by his wife?
Stop being so silly.
Perpetually depicted as being hopeless around the house?
Oh, Mum's out. I'm cooking.
Utter disrespect.
Freeze.
The poor couldn't even organise a fireworks display without being picked on by his own kin.
Pathetic.
Yeah, and £2 if it was mine.
That's nice.
Disgusting. No wonder he sometimes tries to liven up his sorry existence by making lame jokes which nobody even finds amusing.
Look out, bangers!
Oh,
very funny.
Oh, he made a joke, you ingrates. Look, now he's crushed. Are you happy now? Are you happy now? You've broken him? How could you? You monsters!